Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. I have a lot to say in today's intro because I have been waiting for this event for forever and there's so many things I want to mention before we start. Okay, let me get the boring stuff out of the way first. Burn My Soul is Akito's 4th focus event, running on the JP server from October 12th through the 20th, 2023. This was the current event when I returned to the game after a few months. It just so happened to coincide with a certain other event running on the JP server during October 2024. Yeah, I came back because of Musique 5, okay? Don't judge me. Because I came back and the UI had suddenly changed, I kinda always associate this event with the 3rd anniversary. Speaking of 3rd anniversary, it's happened! A bit ago by this point, but happy 3rd Annie. You know what that means. Redesign time! Finally, I can stop looking at these ugly unit outfits. Go on, get out of here. There, much better. Aren't these so cute? VBS really needed these redesigns. Thank God they finally got some fashion sense. Lastly, the commission song for this event is Crazy. Yes. Thank you, Akito. The commission song for this event is Crazy, except for the A in the word is replaced with the kanji E, meaning song. It also probably has the most amount of English in a VBS song, so to all of my fellow English speakers, go listen and see how many of them you can pick out. I did say this was going to be a long intro, didn't I? I probably missed a few things, but I'll save the rest for the outro. Let's get it started. The event opens on Kotaro, who is still feeling the weight of Taiga's smackdown. His friends invite him to perform in their event, but Kotaro refuses. As he's walking home, he overhears some people talking about Weekend Garage and VBS. It's old news that Weekend Garage is going to be closed for a while, but the word on the street is that VBS broke up after their battle with Taiga. Nobody's seen any of the members or Ken in a while. It's like they mysteriously disappeared. Kotaro refuses to believe that. The owner of Crawl Green stops him as he walks, and Kotaro takes the opportunity to ask about VBS. The owner is pretty sure that VBS is still at it, but they might have decided to base themselves somewhere else. No one has seen them around Vivid Street for a while now anyway. This whole town feels so empty now, without all of these young musicians to chase their dreams. Kotaro thinks about going to talk some sense into VBS for jumping ship, even though he's really in no position to do so, when unexpectedly, Akito's voice rings out over the streets. A few months earlier, Ken made the decision to help VBS reach their goal. Surpassing Rad Weekend with the same feelings they had prior to finding out about Nagi just isn't going to work. And it's not like they can use Nagi's death as fuel either. They need to take Radder's dream and run with it, carry it further than just Rad Weekend. VBS needs to show this town and all the people who live in it what it's like to stand at the top of the world. Easier said than done. Now, with a new goal in mind, how do they get there? An event better than Rad Weekend is absolutely a stepping stone and a good goal to keep reaching towards for now. It definitely doesn't help that everyone on Vivid Street has completely lost their confidence in VBS, but it's not like that support can't be won back. Ken has 2 jobs for VBS. The first is to get better. That much is obvious, they can't surpass anything unless they keep improving. The other is to show everyone around Vivid Street some new feelings to overwrite the past. Things are different now, as they should be, and VBS needs to guide the way into this new and scary future for their audience. To help them improve, Ken is going to start taking VBS to high-level events and pit them against singers who are much better than they are. This will be an everyday thing, too, in addition to practice. After school during the week, Ken will pick the 4 of them up and take them right to the live houses. That means these venues are in different subcities, each with their own totem pole and own unique challenges. As for the other aspect, Ken gives each member of VBS a specific assignment in order to make their new goal a reality. Akito's job is to reignite the flame in their audience. Get them to believe in VBS again, in other words. An starts to protest about Akito taking this on alone, but Ken says they only have a few chances to get everyone back on their side. By holding off on performing together until they're fully ready, they can use the moment when they do perform as a unit again as a huge point of redemption. Getting just a little bit better won't change anyone's mind. They really have to blow things out of the water if they want to capture the attention of their audience again. It feels like they're placing a lot of importance on the audience and the people of Vivid Street as a nebulous concept, and I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly. I guess the audience and community was a really big part of Rad Weekend though, so I think they're just running with it. We seem to be somewhere in the middle of the training arc with this upcoming scene. Ken picks everyone up after school and takes them to a live house called Rodin, a place where even Radder struggled to stand out. He even says that VBS doesn't stand a chance there right now, but they need opponents who are immensely better than they are to improve. Akito thinks that the past few venues they've been to have been rough, but it seems like Rodin will be something else. Oh, now is a good time to mention the casual outfits, since they're finally all revealed. Up until now, VBS has just been wearing their unit outfits during event stories, these ones, as you can see here. However, the third Annie not only gave their unit outfits a boost, they also received brand new casual outfit models and an upgrade to their school uniform model. So you'll be seeing these new casual outfits in the background video and the unit ones in the sprite on screen. Okay, back to Rodin. VBS doesn't really ignite the crowd per se, but it's not a negative reaction. Just these kids aren't too terrible. Alright, moving on. Ken comments that Akito has been improving a lot lately, but it's like he's wearing shackles for some reason. Oh, they won? Okay. I didn't think they would, based on the reaction of the crowd. Apparently one of the venue's regular teams was absent today, and that probably pushed VBS into the top spot. After the competition wraps up, An and Kohane immediately fall asleep on a couch backstage. Toya looks over at them longingly, and Akito basically pushes his partner into the cushion so he can rest his eyes too. Akito, chivalry isn't dead after all. While waiting for Ken to bring the car around, Akito thinks about how much they've all been pushing themselves, and how even their current efforts aren't enough. Ken arrives to 3 sleeping teenagers and 1 sour-looking Akito. To let the others sleep a little longer, Ken distracts Akito with some questions. How does he feel? Good, but it's still not enough, right? Yeah, Ken thought so. All of their hard work is really paying off, but Akito still feels dissatisfied. Ken says this: "You're trying to fly higher and higher, which is holding you back from your true potential. You're hitting a ceiling that you put there yourself. So, stop for a second to take a deep breath and relax. Just sing from your heart." Suddenly, Ken offers to sing with Akito one-on-one. They'll have to carve out some extra time in the mornings and evenings, but Akito agrees before Ken can even get the full sentence out. He is kinda Akito's, #1 guy, so big stuff for Mr. Shinonome over here. So it seems like the routine is going to be go to school, go compete at a live house, come back to Weekend Garage for practice, and then the rest of VBS goes home while Akito gets his private tutoring session from Ken. God, they really are working themselves to the bone. I can't imagine how exhausted they must be all the time. At the one-on-one lessons that night, Akito and Ken take turns singing back and forth. Akito sings as usual, though he's still tense. Ken, on the other hand, is completely different from the way Taiga's been training them. Akito says that Ken's style is cool and collected. Taiga's overwhelming power completely absent from the way he carries his notes. It's clear that Ken's technical skill is his strength. Ken asks Akito to think about the images that came to mind when he heard Ken sing. That is to say, Rad Weekend. Just think about that and sing. Nothing else. But even though their session goes somewhat well, Akito hits his limit for the day and nothing has changed. What is he supposed to do? A few weeks later, and still nothing is different. Akito's still too tense and he's still burning out too quickly. Ken's tried everything he could think of, but still, nothing's working. He suggests that he and Akito go for a drive. They drive around for a little while before Ken stops at a random street with a vending machine. He gets drinks for the two of them and distracts Akito's need to keep practicing and stop wasting time by getting him to talk about the past. It's a little bit like the first time they met, sitting on a random street talking. How has it been sprinting at full speed from then until now? Akito thinks and smiles to himself. So much has happened. Ken suddenly flicks his forehead and tells Akito to remember this feeling. Sing with the weight of what he's been through and what's to come. Based on Ken's words, it seems like Akito is only one step away from finding that missing piece of his. So now is the perfect time for an obligatory Sekai trip? Yeah, sure, okay. Oh, yes! I forgot that the starting VBS Vocaloids get redesigns too. Oh, thank God. Thank God they got rid of Len's ugly puffer vest thing. This is much better. Though I do kind of miss Meiko's old outfit. The two of them plus Luca are in the cafe when Akito arrives. He quickly explains the situation and asks for advice. Okay, here, let me summarize this bit rapid-fire style. Luca asks Akito to sing for them. He does. Luca says he needs to go pow with his singing, whatever that means. Akito looks at her like she's crazy. Luca suggests that she and Akito sing like he's been doing with Ken. No, wait, she wants to make it a battle. Cool. Luca starts singing the song they all made together on the VBS camping trip. I'm just going to call that one Mirai, even though it's probably not, but whatever. Akito overanalyzes every little bit of Luca's singing style. Akito takes his turn, then Luca starts singing Kashika. She sounds completely different, and Akito feels the memories start to manifest in his singing. Luca's trying to draw out Akito's feelings in order for him to use them as fuel. Akito's realizing it. He's letting it carry him and... Suddenly, Luca tells him to stop. He needs to save this feeling for when he sings against Ken. I guess this is the POW she was talking about earlier? The next night, Ken notices that Akito's usual anxieties are conspicuously absent. Akito closes his eyes and just listens to Ken sing, noting his every inflection and how it courses through his veins. Akito's been suppressing all of these feelings for so long, but he shouldn't. He needs to let them take over, as they should have, all those years ago. When it's Akito's turn, he lets all of those emotions loose and Ken smiles. Akito tends to overthink things. Letting instinct take over has been one of the hardest things for Akito to accomplish, but they're not finished yet. Ken kicks it up a notch and nearly stuns Akito into silence, but Akito's got more resolve than he knows what to do with, so he burns it all.
Ken さん、あの夜つけられた火は今も俺の中で燃え続けてる。あんたには本当に感謝してもしきれねえ。だから俺はあんたを超える。そうだ、最後はやっぱりこいつが残るんだ。俺をこの場所まで突き動かしたこの思いが。ケンさん、俺はあんたを超えて、ラッドウィーケンドを超えて、その先に行く。
So, he did it! A round of applause for Akito. Oh, that's out of character for me. Throw some tomatoes at him? Yeah, that works. I'll let Toya be in charge of praising his partner to the high heavens. A few more weeks later, Ken decides that it's time for Akito to make his return to Vivid Street, which means that we've finally reached the point shown at the beginning of the event, where Kotaro spots Akito flying solo for the first time in months. Akito addresses the crowd. No, Vivid Bad Squad hasn't given up. They won't give up. And today, Akito is going to show them all that they're serious. Akito goes all out, as you might say, and the reaction of the crowd is just what they wanted. Did he really get that good while no one was looking? Well, yes. Yes, he did. Kotaro looks on at the scene and realizes the ever-growing gap between Akito and himself. No matter how hard he works, he's still held back by his self-doubt. But he wants to learn to sing like Akito. He doesn't want to give up. Akito finishes his song and suddenly announces Vivid Bad Squad's next event, held at Cole. The event that will be the one to surpass Rad Weekend. It's going to be a new legend. The crowd starts to disperse after the announcement, and Akito nearly walks away before Kotaro can call out to him. Throughout the song, Kotaro was having a little internal war with himself, back and forth on should he stay, is this it for him, should he try again? Until finally, he snaps and begs Akito for another chance to stand at their side. Just wanting to sing like Akito isn't going to be enough. Is he prepared? Is he ready to do whatever it takes to sing on that stage with them? With one final, decisive affirmation, Kotaro is welcomed back to the team. Took him long enough, Akito says, but whatever, man. Couldn't they at least have given him a redesign too? That purple hoodie is such an eyesore. See that out there? That's the sound of a powerful flame, freshly reignited and ready to burn down everything in its path. That's the start of what's to come. So now it's up to the rest of Vivid Bad Squad to keep this momentum going. And Akito gets to have Taiga's theme play when the event ends? They are not being subtle about this at all. But that's it for this one. A really dense event, I should say. They packed a lot of important stuff into this hour and 30 minutes. Let me just start off by saying how glad I am that they gave VBS actual months to improve. And like several months, too. It's almost like they took how long it was in real time between On Your Feet and now and made it canon. Good. I'm tired of them getting better overnight. I want to see some real struggle. This really was an Akito focus event, so I think the next couple of focuses will probably be fairly single character focused. I'm definitely here for that. Now, before I go, can anyone tell me why An says Bible in the song? Wrong answers only, I've read the translations. I'll leave you to think about that then. Next up on the list is the long-awaited World Link. It's time to break down the wall. I'll see you then.